So welcome back to First Gen Wealth, Season 3, Episode 2. We're talking today about the fact that I'm getting fat again.
Yep.
And, you know, here I am encouraging everybody to take those small steps. I haven't done shit, bro.
Yeah, I know. So what I want Tony to Dan to do is put your face right now side by side when you're in the thick of 75 hard.
A May episode of when I was doing 75 hard, and then right now. Because
you are an attractive guy, but you are in the face. I can tell that you are chubbier than.
I've been noticing it on our podcast. So so here's the danger. Like you just failed your 75 hard. So we're
for the second time.
For the second time. My plan was to start it February 1st. The first full week of January, and I didn't. I was going to start back up. I have not got back into it. Like, so I quit I finished my 75 hard, which was mid-June. So mid-June, I think June 15th is when it was done. I didn't have a plan for after.
Yeah.
And I literally haven't done anything. I've lifted maybe 3 or 4 times. You've gotten
invites to lift.
I thank you, bro. I thank you. I've lifted 3 or 4 times, maybe 6, since then. I haven't gone out for a run, which I love.
Yeah.
Because I like, dude, it was 102 days for me to get, 20, whatever it was 102 total days to finish that program. And it was like, I was so tired. My legs were exhausted, everything.
And you deserve a break.
But I didn't have a plan to go again. Yeah. I didn't have anything. And so I haven't. So how do I get back into that?
Well, so obviously I failed 75 hard twice. I really wanted to do it. I was extremely pissed that next morning when I realized I forgot such a simple task.
Yeah.
But I also feel like, and maybe I'll share a before and after picture, before and during picture. It's always during for me, not after, because that's the point. Before, after that signifies it's complete. It's you're not complete. It's an everlasting journey. And since November of 2022, we've talked about taking small steps.
Yeah.
I made a very small decision on, I want to eat more grass-fed beef and pasture-raised eggs. That was it. It was just a very small step. Wasn't like I want to do that every day. I just want to eat. I want to incorporate more of that into my diet. So I started buying more of that into, and eating that more as opposed to other stuff. And then that led to, I want to work out. And then that led to something else and something else. So I'm kind of shy. I don't want to show off my body, to our millions of viewers.
Right.
But I think there is power in I've failed twice, but here's what failure looks like. I am constantly striving for a physique and a healthy lifestyle that I want to achieve.
Everlong.
And so despite failing twice, it's been it's 15 months of consistent behaviors. For the most part, I go off, there's a week here and there where I am a little undisciplined, but it's a consistent lifestyle. And it started with a very small step of listening to a cattle rancher on Joe Rogan named Will Harris. And he's talking about the benefits of grass-fed beef and what his farm does for the environment and all the benefits of what it does for the community. And I'm like, I can relate to that.
Yeah.
I dig it. I want to be a part of that. And that was it. So I started eating some of that. And then that led to a multitude of other decisions. I stopped drinking for the most part. I still once in a while, but for the most part, I don't drink anymore. And I work out every day.
Every day.
Every day.
And you got a little bit of a crew.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rick Campbell has been with me from almost since day one lifting.
Yeah.
So we're slowly getting him into the cardio and the diet piece, but he's, he's making progress too. It's been fun to watch.
So so you think that you had an aha moment with the podcast, the Rogan podcast, where something clicked in your brain where that you're like, I'm not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
So I think I've never actually had any aha moment with my health. I just made a decision to do 75 hard. I read the book and then I did it. Right.
You have had aha moments.
What?
Well, I'm thinking about drinking.
Okay. You're right. So that's the only one that I mean,
that's a big health,
well,
that's a huge lifestyle change.
It was.
You and I used to, it was a bad day for a beer when we were around.
It was a bad day for several. And then it was a bad day for a bottle of scotch.
Yeah.
Scotch. Yeah. My blood pressure was borderline. I mean, it's hypertension. I was probably risk of stroke at any moment. So
there was that aha moment.
Well, and it's funny because I was talking to the doctor and I says, well, cause he put me on meds and I'm like, I don't want to be on meds. And at the time I was, just 40 or maybe even 39.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want to be on blood pressure medication. I'm too young. Right. And I was like, well, how do I get off? And he says, well, you have to change your diet, quit drinking and start exercising. I says, okay, of those three, which one would make the most impact? And he says, drinking. And I was like, all right. I didn't want to exercise and I didn't want to eat healthy.
Yeah.
But I'm like, screw it. I'll just quit drinking because I was already kind of like there anyway, mentally.
Yeah.
Tired of getting up in the middle of the night to go potty. You know what I mean? Because you've had too many beverages and whatever. So, so that was that moment. And it's funny because now looking back, it's like, I really didn't want to have to exercise. So I don't like that. I do enjoy running. So I should probably get back into that. And I think
you're having a conflict in your head of what you enjoy and don't enjoy, because anytime I say, hey, let's go lift, you're like, I like my thing up in my attic.
I do.
It's because there's no accountability and you can or can't. It doesn't really matter if you go up there or not. So
but when I do it, I do enjoy it.
So that's the point. Like, what do you really enjoy? If it's running, then go out and do some, but that's the thing. Like, you have to be consistent. So anyone that's completed 75 hard, congratulations. It's tough. Like, I've failed twice on two little, very simple things and it sucks. So if you've done it, congratulations. It's a big thing, but like you said, you need to have some type of plan coming out of it. And there's a Live Hard program that you can go on to bigger, and more disciplined steps.
I think that was what it was. Like I was following the app. And for me, it was like, I wanted Andy Frisella to tell me, congratulations, you're the man. Yeah. And instead he said, all right, tomorrow you get back to fucking work and add 3 more things. And I was like, oh,
very anticlimactic.
Yeah. I was like, what? I mean, I got to do another 75 only. And now I got 3 more tasks I've got to do.
Throwing a cold shower in there. What? Yeah.
And so I did that for 3 days. And then I was like, dude, I'm done. I just need to rest.
Yeah.
Having completing that 75 hard challenge, it's like, I know I can do anything.
Yeah.
I guess I haven't come to it yet where I'm like, it's time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but you calling me fat might do it.
It might be when we see
it's right here.
It is.
It's right here and it's right here. And I've been noticing it in the podcast. Like, as we're going, I'm like, oh man.
I've been noticing it in your social media posts. Your Mexico trip.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, Randy in a bathing suit, bro. Let's go, man. What happened?
I'll tell you what happened.
I know what happened. But I tell you what didn't happen was no carbs till Cabo.
I didn't do the no carbs till Cabo.
That one day,
and it's just like stupid shit like that. It's like there's no visceral commitment. There's no like, it's just shit I'm saying.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I don't really believe in it.
Yeah,
so I never really did it.
Well, for me, that podcast, and I highly recommend it, as Will Harris on Joe Rogan. It really just started making me think about what I eat, what I put into my body, and how much just toxicity there is in most of the foods that we eat. It's terrible.
And I've chosen the blue pill on that. I don't want to watch that stuff.
Yeah. Well,
you know what I mean? I'm like, I choose ignorance.
That's fine.
but you're right. And maybe that's the thing that I need is to because I'm a firm believer and I put things in my head for my business all the time that I want out. Like there's certain things that I'm reading on a daily basis. There's certain things that I just want to absorb for my education, for my mental being. And I need to do that for my health. I don't. I don't really follow anything. I don't do any of that. It's never been a priority for me. The reason I did 75 hard is I was like, I got really fat. Like, holy cow. Like I gotta, and I'm like somebody that likes a challenge.
Yeah.
And that had a start and an end date.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Very
like,
yeah.
I can do that.
It's a task.
It's a task. Exactly. So I've never had a lifestyle commitment like you have. That's what I'm lacking.
I never had either. It just kind of slowly developed into that. And now it's like.
So we say we always find what we're looking for, right? So I'm going to start looking for the thing that triggers my brain to start that next small thing towards my health. I'm going to start looking for it. Because I haven't.
That's awesome.
I haven't been. So I'm going to practice what I preach.
I can't wait to hear the next podcast.
My wife, and these are things I've done in the past where I'm training for a half marathon or whatever. And I posted on Facebook, like, fitness hack, put the shoes next to the bed. Yeah. I didn't end up doing it.
Yeah.
So I was like, it's cold tomorrow. I don't want to run. And Molly's like, what do you just tell people to do? My wife, she's like, you just tell people to do stuff. I'm like, I've done it. Yeah. I know it works. And I just thought of it. And I was thinking maybe I'll do that tonight so that my sneakers are next to my bed in the morning, but I didn't. Yeah. I didn't end up doing it.
Yeah.
Cause I was like, I don't want to run tomorrow. It's cold. Because I've never had.
Well, there's that saying, like, if you can't do, teach. And if
I'm teaching.
And if you can't teach phys ed.
Say that again.
If you can't do, teach. And if you can't teach phys ed.
We love our physical education teachers, but that's hilarious. That's hilarious. If you can't do, teach. If you can't teach,
love our teachers
phys ed.
too. I mean, that's kind of a knock on all teachers.
Yeah, it's all good, man. All good. So yeah, that I can do. That I can start. I'm going to open up my eyes to that thing. I don't know what that thing is yet. It's a health thing.
Yeah.
So I will listen to that podcast. It may or may not resonate with me.
It may not.
There's a couple Netflix documentaries that I've scrolled past that are in the same realm, right? All about the toxicity in food. I'm like, nope, don't want to see that because I want my Doritos.
Yep.
And I know they're horrible and you feel like shit when you eat them. But they're delicious.
Here's the thing, though. You can say, like, I really love Doritos.
Yeah.
I do. I think they're awesome. And the money dip that we make. And
ooh.
I really love Doritos. And I miss them. Yeah. It's okay.
It's okay.
If you focus on what the lack of Doritos is providing you, and you focus on that positive benefit. Andy Frisella talks about that in his book. Like, if you always focus on giving up the ice cream, you're going to eat the ice cream. But if you're focusing on what giving up the ice cream gives you and provides you and all the benefits of it, and you're focusing on the positive of the sacrifice, then you're more likely to give up the ice cream.
So that's an interesting perspective. I don't remember that at all from that book.
That's like the one thing I took away because I have a hard time with, always thinking about what's the next thing, what's out there that's better, what's, just lacking gratitude in general.
Yeah.
So having that focus on the positives of whatever it may be and not focusing on, well, I don't have that, I want that, or.
So I'm going to read it again.
I can find it in the book. So you don't have to read the whole book.
I don't mind.
Yeah. It's a good book. I mean, it's really good.
It was a good book.
He doesn't make any more copies.
Yeah, I know. And I bought 10.
Well, you gave one of them to me.
I bought 10 copies.
I don't have it.
I've given them all away.
Yeah.
I think I've given them all. There might be one at the house. I'll have to look. I was just looking up on the shelf there. I don't see it.
Jill took it and then she gave it to somebody. And so whoever has my book that Randy gave me, I want it back.
Yeah. And whoever the guy was that reached out to me on Facebook Messenger that wanted a copy, I don't have it. So I'm sorry. I got to find it.
You go to Amazon.
Well, there's a lot of, you got to be careful because on Amazon, there's a whole lot of knockoffs that aren't really the actual book that Andy Frisella wrote. They're like,
well, I would think you do 75 Hard by Andy Frisella. I think
that one is probably the right one.
Pretty hard to mess up.
Yeah. So you could only buy it on his website.
Can't even do that anymore. He's
wild.
Switched to the Live Hard book. Well, whatever the new book is. I think it's a book on self-motivation or discipline or whatever. Or mental toughness, the book on mental toughness. And now it's 75 Hard and it talks about the next steps of Live Hard and all that kind of stuff. So it's the whole lifestyle. He's
maybe I need
discontinued the 75 hard.
I need to read that book again. Yeah, probably because there's a whole lot of people like me
that after 75 days or in your case,
fell off the wagon. Yeah.
I mean, like I said, you still look good.
Oh, I'm
just
still,
chubby.
Yeah. So when I started it, I was like 240. I got down to 194 at the end, and I'm 216 right now. Probably, well, after vacation, I'm probably 220.
Yeah.
I had a lot of yum-yums.
I would say you probably have more than 220. If 4 pounds on a vacation, I don't know. Either way, you and I weigh the same.
Yeah, that's the problem because you're 8 inches taller than me. 4.
I weigh a little more than that.
3. Anyway. So yeah. All right. No, that's my commitment. That's my commitment to you. That's my commitment to you. And to myself, more importantly.
And your family.
Yep. But the health thing. And so my commitment is that my eyes are now open and I'm going to start putting in that information so that I can find a nugget, something that resonates.
Yeah.
And I got to figure out what the small thing to start is going to be for me.
Well, the cool thing about that podcast is even if you don't take anything away from the food, there is the business aspect of what he talks about. So he was a industrial farmer. I think he's a 5th generation farmer on this farm. So it was, mass production, just like every other farmer in America for the most part.
Yeah.
And he completely shifted to a regenerative farm in like 20 plus years ago. And he talks about the business of it, the economics of it, what it does for the community, because he has to pay his workers way more. His products cost way more, but what that does for that community and how, it's kind of revitalized the entire part of that county.
Oh, wow.
So it's more than just the food piece. It really is
it sounds interesting.
I think you'll win either way, because even if that doesn't resonate with you, I think there's some really good takeaways from the business side of things and understanding how he runs things and the risks he took to get to the point where he is now.
Interesting. Yeah. And I think that does sound, that sounds like something that I would be very interested in, because I love the idea. And you see it a lot where people will shift their focus to go to a very specialized product or a very specialized service it's not a mass production situation, and they find more happiness.
Yeah.
And it's a huge risk. And it's because you're cutting your audience in half or more.
Big time.
You're as far as who's going to buy this stuff, but the margins are probably higher. And once it happens, it's a much better probably life for him. So that is interesting. So I'll check that out. I'm going to read the AF books, the Andy Frisella books again. I'm going to order the new one, watch some of those documentaries that I've been avoiding on Netflix, and we'll see what happens. And hopefully on the next podcast, I'll report. Hopefully it happens inside of that time frame.
I mean, you basically have like 3 weeks from today. So that's
right. So where we're recording and when our next one will air.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Or when we're recording and then when we'll record the next one when we can follow up with you.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
I don't know. You have at least 2 weeks.
This is like, we're like getting into some hard math. All I know is I'm looking.
Yeah, that's great. I mean,
that's my first small step. I am looking. And then the next small step will be whatever it is. We'll see. We'll see what that brings. Because I definitely, it's funny. Like, I love the results.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, dude, like I felt great. Clothes fit better. I have not had to, I like you say, I've gotten fatter, but I have not bought any new.
It's always your face first.
It's the face and for me, it's my ass.
Yeah.
My booty's gotten bigger, but
some people can't tell the difference on you.
It's cause it's a big I had some nicknames growing up. We won't get into them here, but I haven't got to the point where I had to, cause during that time I had a bunch of new clothes.
Yeah.
I haven't switched yet.
Yeah.
Like we're not that fat yet.
Good. Yeah.
But I'm feeling it. Like it's getting a little tougher to button. I'm like, God, I can't go up back to the fat pants.
Yeah.
I can't.
Here's the thing. You love the results, but the work is hard. And that's the same thing in real estate. Like you can't just say like, I want the result. You've got to put in the work.
Put in the work.
That's anything.
Mental push-ups do nothing.
You can't expect to do less and get more.
Yeah.
It's in this world that we live in, there's not anything you can do less and get more of. You have to pour yourself into it. You have to do, you have to act. and the results follow.
That resonates. That absolutely resonates because I constantly talk about there's no secret sauce. It's work.
Yeah.
Period. But I'm talking about business. Always.
Correct.
And I'm talking about financial independence and financial wealth and getting yourself dug out of a hole. There's no secret sauce. It's work. It's discipline. So the same is true for your health.
Yeah. It's crazy. You have to make conscious decisions and work at it, man. And I'm not trying to say like I'm this guy that everyone should look at me like
so dreamy.
But I've made significant
good,
steps in the right direction. And maybe, like I said, maybe I'll share some pictures. I don't know. I just feel weird about it. I just feel weird. All those thirsty people out there.
So it's funny. During that time, obviously the 75 hard part of the challenge is take a progress pic every single day. And so I was posting my journey on Facebook and on Instagram, and I got a whole nother set of audience and followers, and interesting people that reached out. And it's a cool, so there's a culture there, right? I'm not the guy though. Like we were talking about in our last episode about like getting amongst people and not like that's a crowd. Like they're awesome. They're animals. They're beasts. I wish I was like that. Like there's certain camps and clubs and things of that nature around town here that it's like a family and they are in it, man. And they're aggressive and they work out and they look great. That doesn't appeal to me.
Yeah.
It
doesn't to me either. I lift with the same person almost every day, but at the same time, like when he can't go or I can't go, we have to do different times. Like I really enjoy just being by myself.
Yeah.
Like that's
what that's what I really love about running is the iPads are the earbuds are in and it's just like zone out, man. And I have some of my greatest thoughts and ideas, like while I'm out there on the road, just hitting the pavement. I love the solitude.
Yep.
I really do. I enjoy that for that moment in time, whether it's a 45-minute run or a 2-hour run. I need to probably just focus on that aspect of it. It's a beautiful day. Maybe I'll go for a run today.
Still got time. I still have to get my lift in today because we've got a home basketball game tonight, which means for every made 3-point basket, Success Group Mortgage is donating another $50.
How expensive?
That's one of the commitments that I'm like, damn, I didn't realize it was gonna be this.
That was our last episode.
And tonight wasn't even on the schedule originally. There wasn't a away game.
They added a game.
There wasn't an away game. It got canceled. So they picked up a home game against Morris.
Well, they need more money for some new uniforms. Apparently. And the coach says all we're doing is shooting threes tonight, boys.
Corona hasn't played Morris for as long as I've been alive.
And they're playing them at home.
I have no idea. Like
how much has that program? So my brother, he is a coaches, right?
Assistant basketball coach. Yep.
He's a coach at Corona High School here in Michigan, and basketball coach and a former alumni. You're on the education. You're the president of Education Foundation. Yep. So very involved in his high school alma mater. And this year decided he was going to do a fundraising challenge and donate $50 to the Education Foundation.
Yep. And the athletic club. It'll be a split.
Okay. For every 3-pointer made.
Yep.
And they had a game where they had 18.
Broke a school record. So in my mind, I'm like, I'm thinking like 6 threes a game. There's 10 home games, 60 threes, $3,000 was my budget. So right now, 4,200 is where I'm at with 3 home games to go. And one of them is against Morris, which no disrespect to Morris, but they're like a, much smaller school. I would anticipate that we may make a few threes tonight.
Yeah. Yeah. So this could be a $5,000 adventure.
And in the grand scheme of things, like what we do overall, it's not a lot, but at the same time, like it's timing. Like this is a terrible, terrible time. Yeah. We're broke. We talked about in the last episode too, I think it was.
Yeah.
And so it's just bad timing. So I made a plea on my personal Facebook page. I'm like, hey, I love doing stuff like this, but if you're considering buying a home, like please consider using me because that stuff adds up and it allows me to like, when we have the support, we're supporting the community in that way, but when we have the community supporting us, like fires me up. Like I wanted, like, what's my next thing going to be? Like, what are we going to do next year? What are we going to do for the next school, whatever that may be? So it's fun. And everywhere I go, like people will see me and ask me about it and make fun of me or whatever.
That's funny.
It is fun and it'll all be worth it. And I'm excited.
Maybe we'll see a defensive battle and it'll be like 22-25.
Well, as an assistant coach, you would think I'd have some say in the play calling.
Layups win championships.
We're up by 30 against Owasso and we're still knocking down threes. Like, what the hell are you doing? Take it to the hole.
Take it to the hole. Oh, that's hilarious, bro. All right. So we're going to see, so during season 3, so that's going to be 12 weeks, right? We're on week 2. So we got 10 weeks left. Let's see if we can't get Randy's jawline back.
Okay. Yeah. This will be fun.
By the end of so what we'll do, we're going to post that side by side, that we mentioned earlier, in the episode. And then we'll do it again with today.
Yep. At the
end.
And
then our last,
like
so there's some fucking motivation.
Yeah.
There's some motivation right there.
Love it.
All right.
When you put yourself out there, it makes you want to do it more. So congratulations, you've taken the first step.
All right. And with that, we'll call this one a wrap. We'll see what next episode brings, but we know that it's going to be awesome. Thanks for tuning in.